We welcome you into the booth here at Heritage Bank Center where the Cyclones and the Walleye go toe-to-toe. Welcome back. He's Jake Irwin. I'm Rudy Hodgson. A pleasure to have you joining us tonight. Let's break down a little bit about what we saw in the opening 20. The Cyclones got off to a bit of a rocky start, but fortunately for them, Kyle McClellan has looked real sharp between the pipes.
Yeah, he's looked great. Very comfortable, which is exactly what you want to see out of a young goaltender. I think he's kind of got that from Coach Couturier, who has coached him up well, and Appleby, who is known for being such a cool, calm, and collected guy in the crease. So it's nice to see how McClellan has adopted that and has got better each game.
Now, Kyle McClellan, despite getting off to perhaps a start he didn't want, hard to fault him for the goal that we did see, but he made some really stellar saves. You're looking at a few here on our screen. This is the one right here that impressed me the most, was just the way he was able to track it and make the save despite being interfered.
That was very impressive. That just shows how much he's grown as a goaltender. He's comfortable making those saves, doesn't overcommit, and doesn't get too caught up in his head when he does make a mistake, and that's really been the big thing, really. He doesn't let the little things pile up and become a bigger problem. So, yeah, really nice to see McClellan just getting better each game.
Now, the Cyclones were not able to really create a whole lot of offense outside of a few chances here and there where they had wide open nets, but were not able to convert on those opportunities. As we look ahead to the second period, what did the Cyclones have to do to just bury? Sometimes you just need to forget about what's happened in the first and just reset, get going again.
Yeah, I think it's just keep it simple. That's something that Luke Ranger said when I talked to him just moments ago. Keep it simple. Don't get too caught up in your own head with trying to make these big plays to try and come back, or else it's going to look robotic out there, and Toledo is going to feed off of that. So, yeah, just keeping it simple, doing what you've been doing well, and that's pressuring Toledo on their own end. We saw plenty of instances where the Cyclones got looks at the net because of how they were able to strip the puck free from them and make it tough for Toledo to get out of their own side. So if they can get back to that, then that's some of the keys to getting a lot of looks at the net again.
Now the Cyclones, one of the ways in which they've been trying to create offense in games prior against this Toledo team is forcing passes into that goal crease area. The Cyclones, however, today seeing a much more defensive Toledo team, in particular the neutral zone. How did the Cyclones use their speed to their advantage to try and break into the zone and force Toledo to give them the space they feel they can earn?
I think it starts with controlled dump-ins. You get a streaking forechecker in from your dump-in, coming in from the neutral zone. That way you get those defenders to retreat and get out of position so you can set up your offense in the middle. And then once they draw in towards the boards, that's when you get a cross-ice pass and feed someone right on the doorstep. So if they're able to do that, then they can definitely keep getting some looks. We saw some good looks from Luke Granger in that first period, and it was just a matter of can he sink it into the net. He got close a few times. We know he can rip it. Ended up scoring a game winner the last time they played Toledo. So we know Luke is more than capable of doing that, and just a plethora of guys on this team that can sink those shots if they can get those nice cross-ice passes into the slot.
Right now, standing in the way of the Cyclones' offense is Carter Gylander. We saw him plenty last season, but this is a very different-looking Carter Gylander, so much more composed and more sure of himself. How do the Cyclones fool a netminder that perhaps feels like this is not the level he should be playing at? And he's playing like it right now early.
Keep him thinking. Give some different looks against him, whether it's holding it back in the trapezoid and feeding it up into the slot for a streaking attacker to keep them guessing, or if it's addition from the boards, like we mentioned a moment ago, and to get that east-west movement. We know the Cyclones, they're a team with good pace, and they can pass it back and forth very quick. There's been plenty of instances where they've been able to do that, and there's a good try there. See, it's just a matter of getting it by him. Tested his glove side, and right there was their best scoring chance. Luke Granger just unable to pot it home. He came close, and it's nice to see Granger getting those chances. Another one there for Trott, who's been playing lights out as of late. So you can't say they haven't had their chances. If they can keep getting those chances, then it's only a matter of time until they get that equalizing goal.
We finish with what the Cyclones can do in this second period. You look at the Cyclones' top six. We mentioned them earlier on in the broadcast. Ben King slots into the second-line center role. Despite that being a new spot for him, that really isn't a knock on how he's been playing. As a matter of fact, it's a layer of trust that Coach Wazowski has as far as who he can rotate in and out of that top six.
Yeah, there's plenty of guys. I mean, for how talented these top six are, it's nice to be able to plug them into different roles and see what they can accomplish. And so I like trying something new by putting King in that second line, putting him in the center position, because he's definitely established himself as that kind of leader that Justin Vibe is, for example, with how he's been able to produce. So, yeah, I like to see how Coach is able to switch things up because he knows there's a lot of depth on this Cincinnati team.
Stay with us right here on Flow Hockey on the Cyclones Radio Network. We'll be right back after a quick word, and then we will show you all the latest and greatest around the ECHL with our scores from around the league. Stay with us. More Cyclones hockey coming up.